celebration like Armistice Day, which now they call Veterans Day, is just another day to most people, but not to us veterans, because we know what it's all about. And to me, I served my country, but there's a lot of people who never have, but they don't appreciate what we gave up for them.
I joined the Marines to dodge the Navy and wound up on the Navy ship. I thought that was sort of humorous. I had a dear friend named Jack Campson in Covington, Kentucky. We were both ready to graduate from high school, and saw him one night and said, "Guess what, Jack? I joined the service." He said, "So did I, Pat. I joined the Marine Corps." I said, "No kidding, so did I." So we bid each other farewell, and we said, "We'll see you in Tokyo." So about a year and something went by, and we pulled into an atoll on Saipan Island, and I got the letter that Jack Campson, my good friend, had died on Saipan Island. So we were deprived of one last get-together. We were close together. We were about 8,000 or 10,000 miles from home, and we almost made it.
I suspect some of my most memorable were on Iwo Jima and Okinawa, supporting the Marines. The Marines were taking the island. They were getting killed, slaughtered, unbelievable. And we always did what we could. The question was always in my mind, did I do enough to help the guy before I had to go on to someone else?
We went into the jungles and treated some of the natives in Jamaica. It's just unbelievable, the way they lived in shacks, shanties. These people had injuries, sicknesses, that there was nobody there to care for them.
I was cleared by the FBI, and I was sent to Randolph Air Force Base, but I was there in a special unit under the Air University Command, but we were doing research to go to the moon. And this was way back in 1950. But it was all top secret. And they hid us at the Randolph Air Force Base because everybody thought, oh, they train cadets over there.
I went to a USO and found a fellow named Bob Crosby. It was Ben Crosby's brother. He had a famous band named the Bobcat. At that point, I listened to the band and said, oh boy, I made a terrible mistake. I should have gone into the music part of it.
I've always remembered the Marines are supposed to be first in war, first in peace, but they're last in setting up their discharge system. They came up with a wonderful program called the GI Bill of Rights.
The GI Bill was the greatest thing the government ever invested in.
I got my chemical engineering degree to a great extent from the GI Bill.
The Army paid me $850 a month the whole time I was in college, and that went a long way towards getting me through college. It was very helpful.
We got $110 a month for the 9 months that we went to college. And then in the summer I was on my own, so I had to find work and start building up some cash to matriculate in September again.
I don't feel like I'm owed anything, but I do feel that those who come back with injuries, whose lives are changed forever because of a loss of a limb or a loss of an eye or anything of that catastrophic nature, and I don't think there's enough we can do for those folks.
Veterans are not giving their proper due, not giving the necessary benefits to get them started after their horrible, horrible accidents during the war.
Even the poorest people in this country don't know what it's like to be starving to death and freezing to death at the same time. And if you've traveled around the world as much as I have, is very thankful that we have what we have today in this country.
I think we all, when we're young, tend to underappreciate this country. Too busy doing the other things that you want to do to get to a good point that you don't realize what a wonderful opportunity you have here. And I thank the veterans for that.
Veterans Day is a very special day. It's a kind of a funny situation. You're happy and glad at the same thing, but you're sad about all the people you've lost. People are forgetting what it was like. They don't celebrate and appreciate as much as they should.
I always feel very humbled that I wasn't forced to give my life, but the heroes are those who made the supreme sacrifice. And I just honor them to that. I think they deserve to be honored more than they are today. I think they're sort of forgotten, but I haven't forgotten them.
It's a day to reflect on all those who've served and sacrificed in order to allow all of us to live in the freedoms that we live with. It's just a good opportunity to try and look back on what makes this country what it is.
We came home as heroes and we were treated wonderfully. And I know the Vietnam War and the Korean War, they didn't come home as conquering heroes like we did in World War II.
It used to be they'd shake your hands. They would say, thank you very much for this. Today, I don't think the appreciation's there. The wars are an unpopular war, and people do not understand that when you put that uniform on, you belong to the United States government.
When I was a kid, there was a parade in every town in this USA. You don't see that anymore. And when the flag went by, everybody stood at attention. And if they were military, they saluted. And if they were civilians, they put their hand over their heart. And they were quiet. And when it came time to sing the Star Spangled Banner, they all sang.
I think there's an old saying, something to the effect, if you know how to read, you can thank a teacher. If you have the freedom to say what you want to, thank a veteran.
I'm very proud of my country. It's the greatest country in the world. It has faults, but who doesn't? But it's still the greatest country in the world, and there is no number two.
Anybody with a right brain in their mind appreciates what we did, what we gave, what we served. And people that don't understand it, they just won't understand it.
After all, you know, if you celebrated these holidays on the day that they originally fell on, it wouldn't be a 3-day holiday. But we've tried to make it all for good times. No time to respect those people and what they did.